What if I told you the Eagles just stole a starting NFL cornerback for almost nothing? And what if I told you this one sneaky trade could unlock the rise of a future rookie star and even shake up the entire defense before week 1? Eagles fans, this might be the most underrated move of the summer, and nobody's talking about it. Let's break it down. The Philadelphia Eagles have done it again. Late in training camp, when most teams are just fine-tuning, the Eagles are out here making real moves, and this one might end up being huge. They've pulled off what honestly feels like a highway robbery by trading away a depth player and getting back someone who could start at cornerback. On Monday, Howie Roseman made the call, sending defensive tackle Thomas Booker Ford to the Raiders and bringing in cornerback Cornerback Bennett. And while this trade didn't make headlines, it should have. Because what Philly just did? It might be one of the smartest under-the-radar moves of the entire offseason. Let's talk about Bennett, a 2023 fourth-round pick who's only 24 years old. He's not a big name yet, but he's already played in 24 NFL games and started 11. That's experience most young corners don't get this early. Last season alone, Bennett played over 450 defensive snaps, and the numbers he put up were shockingly good. Among all corners with similar snap counts, he gave up 0 touchdowns. That's right, none. He allowed only 176 yards, ranking second best. Just 18 catches on 37 targets. Lockdown numbers. He had 8 pass breakups and a QBR of only 62.4 when quarterbacks targeted him. That ranks 5th best in the league in that group. In short, this guy knows how to cover. And it's not just the stats, it's who he faced. Bennett went up against Jamar Chase, Cortland Sutton, and Rashid Shaheed, and held his own. That's no joke. And here's where it gets even better. Bennett isn't just skilled, he's athletically elite. Before the 2023 draft, he posted a relative athletic score of 9.59 out of 10, ranking in the top 8 cornerback prospects out of over 2,000 since 1987. That's rare talent, blazing speed, quick hips, elite burst. This kid is special. But let's keep it real. There are some red flags. His PUF grade last year was just 58.6, which isn't great, and he struggled as a tackler. He also suffered a season-ending shoulder injury last year, a torn labrum that required surgery. And at 5'10", 195 pounds, he doesn't exactly fit the size mold that some coaches, like Pete Carroll, look for. But even with those flaws, this trade feels like a total win for Philly. Why? Because they gave up a 5th-string defensive tackle and got back a young, athletic, battle-tested cornerback, one who could start right away in a room that already includes Kelly Ringo and Adoree Jackson. And more than that, his arrival could free up an exciting Eagles rookie to shine in new ways this year. This is what makes Howie Roseman different. While other teams sit still, he hunts for upgrades every week, every day. Eagles fans, do you think Cornerback Bennett could steal a starting job this year? Or will the injury and size concerns hold him back? Drop your take in the comments and tell me how confident you are in the Eagles' cornerback room this season. Let's rate it 1 to 10. I'm giving it a solid 8 right now. What about you? Now let's talk about what this trade really means for the Eagles. The coaching staff made it clear. This wasn't just a random depth move. They believe Cornerback Bennett brings real value. He's got speed, he's got coverage ability, and he can contribute on special teams too. The Eagles are already working to get him up to speed in the playbook, fast-tracking him through extra meetings and off-time reps. They want him ready ASAP, which tells you everything about how serious they are. But here's where things get interesting, and maybe even a little concerning. Could this trade mean the Eagles are worried about Kelly Ringo or Adoree Jackson? Could it be a sign that they don't fully trust either guy to lock down a starting corner spot? That's a real possibility. Look, I still believe in Kelly Ringo. The talent is there. He's physical, he's fast, and he has all the tools. I want to see him take that next step and win the job outright. But moves like this raise questions. The Eagles clearly felt they needed insurance, and Bennett gives them just that. Still, it's a smart bet by Howie Roseman. You're getting a young corner with serious upside at an incredible price. Even if Ringo takes the job, having Bennett ready is huge. And if Ringo struggles, now you've got a legit backup plan. Now let's flip to the other side of the deal. We say goodbye to defensive tackle Thomas Booker, and I've got nothing but respect for the guy. He may not have been a star, but he was a solid rotational piece and part of that Super Bowl winning roster. When he got on the field, he made plays. So best of luck to him in Las Vegas, and thanks for everything in Philly. But here's the ripple effect. Booker's departure opens the door wide for rookie Ty Robinson. He's now officially the #4 defensive tackle on the depth chart, right behind Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Moro Ojomo. And even though he might not get huge snaps, he's going to see real playing time this season. And guess what? He's earning it. Robinson has been steadily improving throughout training camp. He's adjusting to the NFL game, getting more confident, and just this week, he recorded a sack during Monday's practice and looked explosive in drills. The coaches are noticing, and fans should too. Ty Robinson could be a sneaky contributor in 2025. Now let's move forward to what happened on the field Tuesday, and oh man, was it electric. With the first preseason game against the Bengals just days away, this was the Eagles' final full practice before kickoff, and the offense came alive, especially in the red zone. Jalen Hurts was on fire. He threw 5 touchdowns in the session, and not cheap ones either. These were highlight reel throws. Let me walk you through some of them. First, he hit Saquon Barkley over the middle for a laser touchdown, threading the ball into a tiny window between defenders. Then, under heavy pressure, Hurts threw off his back foot to connect with Dallas Goedert in the back of the end zone. The placement? Perfect. Only Goedert could reach it. Later in the day, Hurts spotted a mismatch, Josh Jobe covering DeVonta Smith. Big mistake. Hurts launched a strike down the right sideline, and Smitty took it 25 yards to the house. And he wasn't done. In a crowded end zone, with defenders closing in, Hurts fired a tight window bullet to Jahan Dotson, who pulled it down for yet another touchdown. Each throw showed something different: awareness, touch, arm strength, fearlessness. Hurts looked locked in, and his chemistry with every receiver was on display. The energy is real. The execution is sharp. And the Eagles' offense? It looks ready to explode this season. Eagles Nation, how are we feeling after this practice? Do you think Hurts is already in midseason form? Are you confident in the new-look defense with Bennett and Ty Robinson stepping up? Sound off in the comments. Rate your confidence in the Eagles on a scale of 1 to 10, and let me know who you think should start at corner: Bennett, Ringo, or Jackson? Let's talk about it, because the season's coming fast. Let's talk about something that's quietly becoming one of the biggest stories of Eagles training camp: the growing connection between Jalen Hurts and Jahan Dotson. This is getting real, folks, and we're starting to see it on the field in big moments. Today, Hurts dropped yet another tight window touchdown pass to Dotson, and the throw itself was incredible. Pressure in his face, bodies flying everywhere, and yet Hurts stayed calm, found his man, and made the play. But what stood out most? It wasn't just the throw, it was the timing, the trust, and the chemistry between them. This isn't just a fluke. It's not just one good day. This is the result of grinding together all off-season, building something real through repetition, sweat, and belief. And Hurts said it himself. You build that trust through time and effort. It's showing up again and again, putting in the work, and making plays when it counts. You can see that connection growing with Dotson. And it's not just him, it's also Dallas Goedert, DeVonta Smith, A.J. Brown when healthy. But Dotson? He's the one that's starting to shine brighter in these practices. And don't forget, last season, Hurts already believed in him. He trusted Dotson late in the year to make clutch plays. This year, I think we're going to see Dotson take a major leap. Now look, we know he's not going to get 100 targets. The Eagles have a loaded offense. But even in a crowded room, Dotson has the talent to carve out a much bigger role. Last year, he finished with 19 catches for 216 yards. This year, don't be surprised if he doubles that. Now, while the offense mostly stole the show in today's red zone drills, it wasn't all sunshine for Jalen Hurts. The defense had a few big moments of their own. Let's break it down. Kelly Ringo had a great moment in coverage against Saquon Barkley. He was in perfect position and nearly came away with an interception. He read the route, broke on the ball, and dropped it. That's one he'll definitely want back. But it's still a good sign. He was right where he needed to be. Then came the play of the day for the defense. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. brought pressure off a blitz. Hurts had to adjust. Dallas Goedert slipped in the end zone, and boom, Nakobe Dean came down with the interception. Look, it wasn't a terrible decision by Hurts. It was just one of those bang-bang plays where everything fell apart at once. You don't love to see it, but it's also good news that Dean is showing his instincts and that Trotter Jr. is making an impact. Overall, Hurts went 12 for 20 on the day with 5 touchdowns and 1 interception. Not perfect, but pretty dang good. It's clear he's seeing the field well and building confidence with his weapons. And speaking of weapons, it was great to see Terrace Marshall Jr. back on the field. He's been dealing with injuries, but even in a limited role today, he looks smooth and ready to fight for a roster spot. Another name to watch? Rookie safety Andrew Mukuba. After missing time, he finally got back into team drills and even made a pass breakup with the second-team defense. For a guy still learning the system, that's a strong sign. Injury-wise, a few guys like A.J. Brown and Zach Bond remain sidelined, but reports say it's nothing serious. Just precautionary at this point. No red flags yet. And here's one more name to highlight, Elijah Cooks. This wide receiver just keeps showing up, and today he added 2 more touchdowns to his camp resume. Don't sleep on this guy. If he keeps making noise, he's going to force the coaches to make a tough decision come cut day. So now it's your turn, Eagles fans. How much trust do you have in the Hurts-Dotson connection this season? Can Jahan Dotson double his stats from last year? Or is there another surprise name you think will break out in the passing game? Let me know your bold prediction down in the comments and rate your excitement level from 1 to 10 for this explosive Eagles offense. This season is building fast, and the energy? It's undeniable. It was one of those moments where time slowed down. Quinyon Mitchell, just in his second NFL camp, locked eyes with Jalen Hurts. One-on-one. No help, and he didn't blink. That's the kind of confidence you don't usually see in young corners, but Mitchell isn't playing like a young corner. He's playing like a veteran, like a future star. And now, even Jalen Hurts and DeVonta Smith are stepping up to say it out loud. This kid is different. DeVonta couldn't stop smiling when he talked about him. Jalen just nodded and said it flat out. Confidence. That's the biggest difference. Mitchell told them the same thing himself. He feels it. He's playing faster, smarter, more aggressive. He's reading the game, picking up on route splits, watching the quarterback's eyes. He's not just reacting anymore, he's anticipating. And that's terrifying for opposing offenses. While Mitchell was locking things down in coverage, Moro Ojomo was wrecking the trenches again. Another sack. Another pressure, this time splitting between Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens like a knife through butter. This guy is quietly putting together a monster camp. And let's not forget the play that shook the sidelines, a filthy 15-yard touchdown run after breaking a defender's ankles. That clip's going to make the highlight reels. But the real story is what's building behind the scenes. This defense is coming alive. Ojomo's power, Mitchell's growth, the energy, the competition. You can feel it. The Eagles face the Bengals this Thursday in their first preseason test. And if what we've seen in camp carries over to the field, we might be looking at one of the scariest defenses in the NFC. Let me know what you think. Are you buying the Quinion Mitchell hype? And what are your expectations for the Eagles' defense this season?